That looks better. Good? All right, you can go live whenever you want. Good evening. My name is Scott Payne, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. And tonight we're going to be going over our West Babylon School District 2025-26 Code of Conduct revisions. In just a minute, I'm going to switch over to the presentation, but I just want to take a moment and let everyone know. Tonight's meeting, we're going to go over proposed suggestions that were given by a committee of teachers, administrators, parents, students here in the district. Share that with the community, get feedback from all of you in the form of an email, which I have up there and we'll talk a little bit more about. But any feedback that you want to give, you can send to that email address, spayne@wbschools.org. And I'll tell you in just a moment if you can use 25-26 Code of Conduct feedback. We'll go over sending that email. You can do that during this presentation, and I'm going to be checking my email live. But of course, that time frame we're going to talk about is going to be open for quite a while. So again, any feedback you want to give as a result of this presentation or any suggestions or even any questions if you want to give it while I'm giving this presentation, you could just send to that email. So we're going to put the presentation up live right now. We're good. And I'm going to go over the timeline for the Code of Conduct. May 14th, of course, today, and next week on the 20th, which is our budget vote as well, are going to be virtual public feedback meetings where I'm going to share all the feedback that we've had up to date. Got it. Okay, are we back live? All right. So sorry, we had a little technical difficulty with the audio. So picking up where we left off with the feedback, of course, right here, live until the 28th, as I said, and of course, it will all be posted to the school website. So here's a little bit about our Code of Conduct. It can be found on our district website under Board of Education section, Board Docs, Active Policy. It is called Policy 5300, Code of Conduct, Character and Support. It consists of roughly 43 pages with 22 sections. These are the sections, and the reason why I'm referencing these is because I'm going to be talking about these sections when I talk about each of the revisions that were made. These are the first 12, and then it goes up to 22. And again, this entire Code of Conduct is accessible on the Board of Ed, on the website, on our district website under the Board of Ed, Board Docs, and Active Policies, Policy 5300. As I mentioned before, the revisions that you're going to see tonight were made up of a committee of teachers, building and central administrators, parents and students, and they were made at the consent of the group. Minor grammatical changes, formatting, any punctuation were made, but not necessarily approved by the group, nor will they necessarily be put before the Board of Ed. They're just minor typos that have absolutely no impact on the code of conduct at all. And then, of course, the changes tonight will hopefully generate some public presentation and feedback, which I will also incorporate with the Board of Ed presentation on June 10th. So let's go through this. I'm going to run through it. And again, this will be accessible on the school website as well as this presentation. Section 1, remember I said 22 sections for the Code of Conduct. Here we're in the first one. If you go down to Section 1, there was a sentence that talked about effective and engaging instruction and positive behavioral supports as an introduction as to what this Code of Conduct is supposed to accomplish. The committee wanted to change the word "are" to compromise the foundation of a positive school climate. Not a big change at all, and usually this would almost be grammatical, but we decided to leave it on because it is a word change. Section 2 really gets into definitions, talks about a bunch of different terms that may be used throughout the Code of Conduct and gives a definition for them. Defiance and disrespect is one that you'll see throughout the Code of Conduct. The committee had asked to change defiance and disrespect means refusal to follow directions, to take out, strike through that there is taking out, talking back, and to instead change it to responding disrespectfully and or socially rude interactions. Again, under definitions, same section of the Code of Conduct. Smoking or vaping means possessing, utilize, selling, distributing, or exchanging drug products, e-cigarettes, personalized vaping devices. Instead of just putting liquid nicotine, it was any nicotine product that the committee decided to change it to. And then the continuation is and or drug paraphernalia on school district property or at school functions. Moving on to the next section, again, Section 3 of the 22 sections of the Code of Conduct, students' rights and responsibilities. This is one bullet, of course, as part of that section, but the committee asked to change the word mechanisms to strategies in this work to develop strategies to control their anger under student responsibilities. Similarly, under Section 3, students' rights and responsibilities, Section B, seek help. Students will seek help in solving problems that might lead to, instead of discipline, just changing that to disciplinary actions. Similarly, Section 3, students' responsibilities, accept responsibility for, instead of just their actions, words, actions, and reactions. Just adding words and reactions there. Section 4 of the Code of Conduct gets into essential partners, and there are different sections. You'll see Section A here is parents. There's students, there's teachers, there's different visitors. Under Section 4, essential partners, with parents, parents will insist that their children be struck through there, dressed and groomed in a manner consistent. Instead, insist that children be clean, well-kept, dressed in accordance with the student dress code. Essential partners, again, parents, instead of help, decide to change that to reinforce that children understand that in a democratic society, appropriate rules are required to maintain a safe, orderly environment. And same section, same subset, parents, instead of just know, they'll know and reinforce school rules and help children understand them. Again, under parents, reasonably monitor their children's at-home use of electronic devices. And this may come up, I think, 2 or 3 times. The committee, after a long talk, and decided to make sure that we include applications like apps on your phone, because they might be a little bit different than a website, but certainly just as prevalent and just as potentially just as fall under some of these categories that you'll see, with children using them to communicate with others or to be involved with school. So just the addition of applications. Under essential partners, that was Section A. Under D, for teachers, talked about demonstrate interest in teaching and concern for student achievement, and the committee decided to strike through awareness of varied learning style with the idea that all student achievement should take that into consideration. Essential partners E, guidance counselors, school psychologists, social workers in attendance. Provide information, strike that out, just assist students with career planning with targeted support to 11th and 12th grade students. And essential partner Section G is superintendent, assistant superintendent, directors, coordinators, specialists. kind of reworked that sentence, really similar piece, but develop instructional programs that address mixed instructional techniques and meet students' needs. Going into dress code, which is section 5, it still says section 4 up there, but this is section 5 dress code. Ensure that jewelry and or accessories do not pose a danger to self or others. And this is all in addition or cause disruption to educational programs. Just an addition there. Again, under dress code, this was one we spent some time on. Not include hats, bandanas, hoods, or other headgear in the school or classroom except for medical, religious, educational reasons, or as approved by the building's principal in accordance with the New York State Crown Act. Just to get into it shortly, the New York Crown Act is legislation that talks about working with students with maybe different hairstyles or different headgear that may be relevant to their culture, and it's very specific, so we decided to give the building principal the leeway, of course, to work within the parameters of that legislation. Prohibited student contact, section 6, prohibited student contact, D, engage in conduct that is violent. Examples of violent conduct include, but are not limited to. You're going to see this come up several times. The addition of electronically. So threatening physical violence verbally, in writing, electronically, or by use of gestures. You'll see this addition of the word electronically come up several times. Same section, threatening physical violence by use of electronically, by gestures. Here we go, engage in the conduct. Okay, same thing. These are all different sections, but again, just adding the word electronically as an example of these different sections, section D, E, and going through E again, pushing it through. Prohibited student conduct, engaging conduct that endangers the safety, safe physical or emotional well-being, health, or welfare of others. Examples of such conducts include, but are not limited to, lying, and then the addition here was or withholding information to school personnel. So that blue, of course, area, like you're seeing in all these changes, blue means it was an addition. Again, here you're going to see that use of the term applications. Cyberbullying, which includes engaging in any of the above stated bullying behaviors via the use of electronic communication devices, and addition of applications or social networking websites. And here's another addition to one of these examples: selling, using, creating, or distributing, or possessing obscene or pornographic materials. This was really a very minor change, just to keep in consistency with the rest of the way the bullets are written. Students are prohibited from, and you'll see above, examples of such conduct include, but are not limited to. We felt that not limited to, students are prohibited from didn't really fit with the flowing of the term. So if you read that sentence now, the code of conduct will read, if you read above, engage in any conduct that endangers a safe physical or emotional well-being, health, or welfare of others. Examples of such conduct include, but are not limited to, selling or soliciting to buy any items or services in school that are not specifically approved by district or building administration. That strike through just made it a little clearer. This was one we spent some time on. Engage in misconduct while on a school bus or school bus stop. And one of the pieces that identified as misconduct would be food, drinks, balloons on backpacks are not permitted on the bus. The idea here, I think all the rest of it, and we spent a lot of time talking about balloons in general. Why that was singled out years ago, we don't know, but we agreed that it probably shouldn't be on a bus, at least blown up, of course. But key change that was felt was a reasonable thing that might be on a backpack that students might need for those that have to save keys or have them readily accessible. This was an addition, engage in any form of academic misconduct. Examples of academic misconduct include, but not limited to. And this was a broad piece, and I'm sure we're going to spend a lot of time in the future going over this, but we put this very general, inappropriate use of artificial intelligence, noticeably vague, to talk about the potential of plagiarism and misuse of, maybe not even plagiarism, misuse of artificial intelligence to complete assignments or to pass work off, AI work off as your own. So this is broad, but it's purposely broad to encompass that. Again, you're going to see the word or the addition of the word electronic, sending or supporting electronic messages instead of just messages that are unsolicited, deceptive, anonymous, excessively voluminous, or that contain falsified identifying information, include spamming and phishing. And this is an introduction on Section 14, public conduct on school property. Prohibited contact, which is no person, alone or with others, without permission, but not limited to and not limited to shall. That concept of without permission and not limited to, the committee added because they felt that there may be examples of some of the things that are on there. And I'm going to give you a quick example. Flying drones. Of course, we don't want people flying drones, but there may be times where people are permitted to fly drones, or even school personnel may be flying drones. And the not limited piece doesn't limit it to, of course, just what's there. This is a complete addition added by our athletic director from, I believe, Section 11 Code of Conduct. This is taking verbatim from the county Code of Conduct for athletes. And it states, as a complete addition, any athlete that engages in a fight or leaves the bench during an on-field altercation will be required to sit out of the 2 scheduled contests. As with our current policy, this should the suspension overlap the end of the season, it will carry over to the postseason and or the next season the athlete participates in. Should the situation repeat itself in the same season, the athlete will be ineligible for the remainder of that specific sport, regular and postseason. And it says it as a bullet down there. Additionally, the players or coaches who have been suspended from the next contest may not be present at the site of the next contest. So this is all directly taken from Section 11, which we copied verbatim. All right. So that was a quick version. I'm checking my email just to see if I have any comments or feedback. And I'll wait just a few moments because there could be a delay. But again, this will be posted to the website. Any feedback, the window is open there. It can be sent to spayne@wbschools.org. And please put 2025-26 Code of Conduct feedback in the subject line, and I will get that email. I will respond to you, and I will certainly then, as it's applicable, add it to the revisions. We'll be doing this public meeting again next week, again, as I mentioned, on the same date as our budget vote and our trustee vote. And then that'll take us to the May 28th, where that'll end the feedback period, and then we'll move to the next board meeting when we present it to the Board of Education. So I am checking my email. I do not have any feedback, which hopefully means at some point I will get it. And this presentation will be posted to the website tomorrow. And this, like I said, my email and the feedback window will be open for several weeks. So I want to thank everyone for being here. And again, I look forward to hearing from you.